Am I in?
Yeah, you're in.
All right. Hello, Emily. I'm sorry again that you aren't here with us. Again, we're double bummed. So we just prayed for you and just really look forward to the day you're feeling better and can get back with us. We are going over the metric ladder. We were assigned yesterday to come up with some of the prefixes that are above giga and below nano. So we're going around the room so you won't see us, but you'll hear us. So we try to keep faces out of there for now. So, all right, except mine. All right, although mine was out yesterday. Emily, what did you get just above on giga going up?
Tera.
Okay, go around.
Is it Peta?
I'm not sure.
Peta.
You get to decide on the
Peta.
pronunciation.
Peta.
All right, Zach.
I'm gonna go Exa.
Exa sounds good to me. Emily? Okay, that's fine. Zeta, Zeta, what?
Yada.
Yada, 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 yada. Okay. Then going below, back to you, Emma. Emily, below nano is
Pico.
right, I guess.
I don't know how to say it.
Femto.
Sounds like a plan. Zach,
Otto.
did you get any below? Okay. And
Yocto.
okay, very good. All right, so you can see that these prefixes do exist. I wanted you to know about them. We'll live in between giga and nano and pretty much between kilo and milli, so we're not very adventuresome in our metric life. All right, before we leave the metric ladders, I kind of made that for a bookmark you can stick in the physics book. And but before you tuck it away, I did offer, and I'll re-offer, extra credit for, there was a couple, oh yeah, first of all, which ones did I leave out? I left out some, so we'll pick on you. We'll pick on you because you didn't give us any metric prefixes. I have left some out. Can you help me find which ones they are?
Like in the book?
No, in your, from yesterday, do you have your ladder there?
Yeah.
All right, so I have a blank here, and it's between deca and kilo. So can you see on your ladder which one that would be?
Oh, hecto.
Very good. And then if we could you also, and Emily, you help me with this one, between centi and meter. All right, we have to know the metric ladder by heart, so let's practice it tonight. The only thing I'm requiring is this part. You probably are familiar with it already, but if you aren't, I need you to practice it and know it for future quizzes and assignments. It shows up in lab and all over the place, just in our discussions. So you're going to have to practice this ladder. The principle, why we even make it in ladder form is this. What happens is, notice I only wrote meter here. What else could I have written there? There are other basic units. So let's actually take an aside, and I'll come back. Leave your metric ladder there. Brandon?
Gram.
And what else?
Liter.
Liter, right. So I mentioned I wanted to go into this yesterday, but I didn't have a chance. So pulling it out today, go to where your notes were. We're still on day one notes. So can you find that handout that I had, or you can write behind it? So in your notebook, day one notes, we're still taking notes on day one information. So at that spot, we're going to actually have an aside here. So I'm going to come across here and right over here, and then I'll come back and finish up my discussion. So keep your ladder handy. I had mentioned that I only wrote meter here, and Brandon filled me in that it could have been liter, and it could have also been, what was the other one? Gram. All right. So these are basic metric units. So we're going to make a little chart in your notes, call it units. On one side we'll have the metric system, on the other side we'll have the English system, and that's a little confusing. They do call it English, but in England they don't use it, they use the metric system. So when I hear and I say English, I just mean USA pretty much alone. It's the only group that uses this side. Yes?
I think I actually looked it up. I think there was one other place that used it.
What's that?
There was one other place that used it actually.
What?
I can't remember.
One other place, what is
Yeah.
it?
It might have been.
Is it? All right, look that up. I want to know. Okay, not right now, though. I'd like to know. I think you're right. I have heard of that. Okay. So what, on this chart here, I have the basic units, and under length for English, we'll say foot. There's not a real firm answer to that, but same, a lot of times when you measure the length of something in the USA, you say how many feet is it. So what about in the metric system? Raise your hand and tell me, what is the length of, Emily?
Is it meter?
It is meter. So we'll be working in meters and centimeters, decimeters, and all that a lot this year. So we'll get really comfortable with that. All right, time on either side. Do you know either, Hunter?
The time.
Pardon?
The time.
Uh-huh.
For second.
Yeah, second's good. Which side, English or metric?
I would say English.
All right, English for second. All right, anyone know this, the unit for time in the metric system? Brian? The unit for time, if we were in England and that one other country, how would you rate the time it is? It is seconds, okay. Isn't that funny how some things are alike and most things are different? Then we come to a unit that we do not use very much in our day-to-day life, except when we're drinking soda. So why did that work? So it's the liter. The basic unit might be kiloliter. Let me see, I forget. Yeah, it's, well, it's not. Liter, we'll put liter down here. So this is volume. Notice I put a line there, and I'll discuss that line in a minute. So notice it's not really in the, we'll call this the basic units. And notice when we drink our 2-liter bottles of soda, when I was like way younger than you, they told me by the time I was like 15 we'd be totally metric. Guess what? I'm 61. The only thing that made it was the bottles of soda, because everyone knows a 2-liter bottle of soda. You can visualize that, you buy it, but nothing else much changed. It didn't go metric. So why? I don't know. If we can do soda, we can do it all, but we didn't. So volume is going to be in the metric units, we're going to call that liters. And in the English, how do we do volumes in the English? You know, Brandon?
What do you mean gallon?
Part of gallon's good. We could say quart,
Yeah, quarts.
quarts, gallons. I'm going to put quart because it's just really close to liters, but gallon is also a correct answer. All right, back to mass, the one that we don't use a whole lot. In the metric, in science class, you've used it a lot, and it turns out to be kilogram. Gram seems to be the more basic unit, but it's listed as a kilogram, probably because it's size. Gram is almost unusable because what, a fly is 2 grams, so it's not a very large unit, so I think that's why the basic unit is the kilogram. English.
It's a pounds?
No. We'll get to the pounds soon though, so I'll come back to you on that. Any ideas what is the English unit for mass? I'm sure you've heard it in chemistry. No? A slug.
yeah.
All right. So the slug is a true unit. I'm not teasing. So that is the metric. The English unit for mass. How much of the stuff is there? It's in slugs. All right. So I put this mysterious line here, so I'm sure you're worried. Why did she put that mysterious line right in the middle of our chart? It turns out that these are the basic units, and anything below this line is called a derived unit. So, in other words, we take the basic units and go ahead and put them together in some way and create other units from them. So these are derived. And before I finish that, I've only got 3 basic units when the metric unit system has more. Guess how many there are basic metric units? Give me a good guess. Emily? It's not 3. Not 5, a little more. There are 7. So, why didn't I list them? Because they're not going to really show up in our course, but I want you to know them. So I'm going to put them on the side of basic units over here and not right in the midst of our chart. And they are ampere. We will talk about amps, but not for a long time. So that's electricity. A basic unit of electricity is the amp. Temperature, now you did this one in, you used this one in chemistry. So tell me, what is the basic unit for temperature in the metric system, having been through chemistry? Emily?
Celsius?
Celsius is not, the other one. Yes,
Kelvin.
it is Kelvin.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
All right.
Oh, the converter from Kelvin.
All right, what are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now there's 2 more. Light intensity. I don't know if you've heard of candelas. It's basically a brightness. Like I said, these aren't used too much in our class. I don't think I'll use candela. And amount you have used in chemistry is the mole. So those are the 7 basics. So they should go above that line, the mystery line. Now, I'm going to do something even more mysterious. I'm going to take, well, I'll give you a second to get these down, so I'm not plowing ahead. Ampere, Kelvin, candela, mole. I won't ask you to list these, but I may ask you to recognize that this is a basic unit. So if I give you a list of 4 and say which are basic metric units, you might have to recognize that they are. So that's probably as bad as it's going to get with those oddballs. All right, now I'm going to do something really strange. I'm going to take this line and make it like that. So I'm going to change the mystery line to a mystery wavy line. And the reason is that some people consider volume, the liter, as a basic unit, and some define it as a derived unit. So let me show you where it comes from, and you tell me whether you think it should be above the line or below the line. So again, a derived unit, it means I take the basic units and somehow put them together to get a new unit. So what happens here is if we have a meter, and so I have a box and it's 1 meter high and it's 1 meter wide and it's 1 meter deep. So I have a 1 meter box here, and that meter is divided in, we know a meter has 10 decimeters in it. So I kind of sketched just one side of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're not even. But imagine 10 even divisions here. It turns out that if I have 10 divisions each way, I have, I'll put in these. I'll put in the front. If I divide that, so there's like 100 here, and then there's going to be 10 rows of 100 there. So can you envision 1,000 boxes in there? So it's very hard for me to draw. But if I draw a 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, divide each side by 10, and that means this side, and this side, I'll have 1,000 little boxes inside of that. One of those little boxes is a liter. So some people say, let's just call it basic measurement. But other people say, well, it actually comes from the meter in a way. So you can decide. We will pretty much treat it as a basic unit for volume, the liter. So, yes?
Okay. So when you had 1,000 boxes, Is that, are they 3D, like cubes, or are they
Yeah,
just like?
they're
okay,
cubes.
Okay,